On January 14, 2021, in Tacoma, Washington, a local video editor reported his fiancée missing. He provided police with surveillance footage proving he was home the entire night she disappeared. The timestamps were clear. The footage was clean. The alibi was airtight. But 3 months later, forensic analysts discovered something that shattered the case. The video that proved his innocence had been edited by the only person who knew how to do it perfectly. Her name was Olivia Barnes, 27 years old, graduate student in environmental science at the University of Washington. Thoughtful, focused. She believed in data, research, long-term thinking. Friends described her as careful, not dramatic, not impulsive. She had been engaged for 8 months to Daniel Mercer. Daniel was 31, freelance video editor, specialized in documentary post-production. Quiet, technical, the kind of man who noticed details others missed. They lived together in a small rented house just outside Tacoma. Neighbors described them as calm. No loud arguments, no visible conflict. But relationships rarely fracture in public. 2 weeks before she vanished, Olivia told her advisor she was reconsidering the wedding. She didn't say why. On the evening of January 14th, Olivia attended a lab meeting on campus. She left at 8:52 p.m. Security cameras showed her entering her car alone. She never arrived home. Daniel called police the next morning at 9:17 a.m. He reported Olivia missing, stating she never came home. He appeared composed, concerned, cooperative. He immediately provided something most suspects don't: security footage from inside their home. Daniel had installed a full indoor camera system to monitor packages and equipment. The footage showed him inside the house from 8:30 p.m. until midnight, sitting at his editing desk, occasionally walking to the kitchen, never leaving. Time-stamped, continuous, clean. Police checked traffic cameras. No clear footage of Olivia's car after campus. Her phone last pinged near Interstate 5 at 9:11 p.m. Then it went offline. Search efforts began immediately. 3 days later, Olivia's car was found parked in a long-term lot at SeaTac Airport. But there was no record of her boarding any flight. No ticket purchase. No security scan. The narrative began forming. Maybe she left voluntarily. Maybe she panicked about the wedding. Maybe she ran. Daniel repeated the same line in every interview. She needed space sometimes. But those who knew Olivia said that wasn't her. She didn't disappear without planning. She organized everything. 2 months later, hikers found human remains in a forested area 20 miles south of Tacoma. Dental records confirmed it was Olivia. Cause of death: blunt force trauma. Estimated time of death: late evening, January 14th. The timeline tightened. Daniel's alibi still held. He had video evidence placing him at home. No GPS records placed him near the forest. His phone data showed no suspicious movement. It should have ended there. But one forensic analyst noticed something microscopic. The indoor surveillance footage Daniel provided had no natural digital noise variation. Every consumer camera produces minor frame-level inconsistencies. Daniel's footage was too perfect. A deeper metadata analysis revealed something even more disturbing. The file had been exported at 3:12 a.m. on January 15th, which meant the continuous footage had been processed after Olivia was already missing. Detectives requested the raw system files from Daniel's camera server. Daniel claimed the server automatically overwrote data after 24 hours. Convenient, but forensic recovery specialists managed to retrieve fragmented backup sectors from the storage drive. When reconstructed, the original footage showed something different. At 9:38 p.m. on January 14th, Daniel left the house. He returned at 11:21 p.m. The footage had been cut, spliced, extended with looped frames of him sitting at his desk. As a professional editor, Daniel knew exactly how to smooth transitions. He added ambient room audio to maintain continuity. He adjusted timestamps. He didn't create fake footage. He rearranged real footage, which made it harder to detect, but not impossible. When confronted, Daniel maintained his innocence. He said he left briefly to clear his head. He denied harming Olivia. Then investigators uncovered something deeper. 3 weeks before her death, Olivia had accessed Daniel's external hard drive. Inside, she found a hidden folder. It contained manipulated financial records. Daniel had been falsifying invoices for clients, thousands of dollars. If exposed, he could face federal charges. Olivia confronted him about it. According to text drafts recovered from her laptop, she wrote, "I won't marry someone who builds a life on lies." Daniel wasn't violent by history. He wasn't impulsive. He was meticulous. For some personalities, image control is survival. Olivia represented stability, reputation, normalcy. If she exposed him or left publicly, his credibility could collapse. But instead of rage, Daniel chose calculation. He studied her schedule. He understood digital footprints. He knew where cameras were. He knew how metadata works. The mistake he made wasn't emotional. It was technical. He assumed investigators wouldn't question footage that looked ordinary. He assumed perfection would pass as authenticity. But perfection is suspicious. Human life contains glitches, noise, interruptions. His alibi was too clean. When detectives played the reconstructed footage in the interrogation room, showing him leaving at 9:38 p.m., Daniel's reaction was subtle. He didn't panic. He leaned back, closed his eyes, and whispered, "I should have deleted the drive." It wasn't a confession, but it wasn't denial. Daniel Mercer was charged with first-degree murder and evidence tampering. During trial, prosecutors described the case as a man who believed editing reality was the same as controlling it. The jury deliberated for 2 days. Guilty. At sentencing, Olivia's mother said something that echoed through the courtroom. "You can edit video, you can edit numbers, but you can't edit consequence." Karma didn't arrive loudly in Tacoma. It arrived through file properties, through metadata, through the one detail Daniel thought no one would inspect. The truth didn't need witnesses. It just needed someone to hit rewind. If this case made you think about how easily digital control can become dangerous, subscribe to The Hidden Truth. Because sometimes the most convincing lie is the one that looks perfectly edited.